straight Stanley Cup. And when the Super Bowl ended, the ball would be in the hands of Tom Brady. I don't know why we ever think it won't.
It's time for the Home Team on the TAN Talk Radio Network. The Home Team is brought to you in part by Iceman Development, LLC, a pioneer in ice rink development. By the Palm Pavilion, 10 Bay Esplanade on Clearwater Beach. By the Original Mattress Factory, with 3 Tampa Bay locations. By Mahoney's Auto Repair, 4040 Fifth Avenue North in St. Petersburg. And now, here he is, the arena voice of the Tampa Bay Lightning and Orlando Magic, and the press box voice of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Paul Porter.
Well, thank you, Pat Porter. And I know this is not Paul Porter. This is Jason Alessi, but welcome to the home team here. Paul Porter is on vacation, currently visiting his brother Pat along with his son. So hope he's having a good time. But we're having a good time here. I'm happy to be joined by our good friend Ed Davis. Ed, how you doing?
Doing all right, but I thought we were going to say maybe Paul's. How do you say on assignment?
On assignment, well, yeah, maybe.
Sounds more technical.
Sounds better than that. Okay. Well, he's on assignment. Who knows? I asked him if he's going to be doing any announcing there. I know his brother's on the radio too, but he said no. He's going to leave that all behind. Not going to do that. He's going to rest the voice.
Yeah, he picked the perfect week to miss the show because there's nothing going on in sports this week anyway.
Yeah.
It's not like the Rays are trading everybody.
No, doing what they do.
Yeah,
we're going to do that. I know. Yeah, we're going to get if football season is here. Thank goodness, we're excited about that, and we're going to get into football. We're going to talk about the Bucs, what's going on. But yes, the big news is the Rays. They're doing it the Rays way, what they do best, and to trade some of their key players for prospects. No more Randy Land. Randy Arozarena, they trade him to the Seattle Mariners for 3 prospects, and pitcher Zach Eflin. They have traded to the Orioles for 3 prospects. It's funny. I was looking up stuff preparing for the show, and I went on the MLB website, and they listed about 30 players. Overall, that they felt might be moved prior to the trade deadline, which is Tuesday, and the Rays had 3 of them on the list. They had Arozarena, they had Eflin, they also had Isaac Paredes on the list, and sure enough, now 2 of them are gone. Listen, I knew that the Rays weren't going to be. Or I figured they weren't going to be buyers because they rarely ever are at the trade deadline. I did not think that they would be sellers just because they've been on the upswing as of late. They've been playing better. There was a point in the season where they were not doing well, and it clearly looked like this was not going to be a playoff year. And if that were the case, if it was continuing to spiral downward, I think this would be more acceptable. But the fact that they've been playing better, moving in the right direction, I mean, they're at 500 now. They lost last night to Cincinnati in 10 innings, but things have been looking up, and I think they're maybe 4 or 5 games out of the final wild card spot, which there's still time to make up. But when you do something like this at this point in the season, that basically sends the message, I think, to the team and to the fans that not really worried about the playoffs this year. It's no biggie. We're trying to going to cut salary, save some money, bring in some young players, and I just think this is part of what rubs so many people the wrong way about Stu Sternberg. It appears that they're never fully committed to building a championship caliber team.
Well, I have to say that when I came in here today, I thought this the other day, and I was going to say today that if there was a player I would trade on the Rays, it would be Randy Arozarena. And I'll tell you why. I'm not a fan of this singling out one player to the fans and giving him his own section. Aaron Judge doesn't have his own section, for crying out loud. You might say, well, that's kind of petty. Well, yeah, it is kind of petty. Whatever. Here's the thing. Randy did some things that really aggravated me. I don't know if you caught this, especially when he's up 3-0 in the count. Pitcher throws a pitch before he even leaves basically when he leaves his hand. Randy takes a step back from the plate. And I thought, he's just figuring the odds are he's going to throw maybe a strike, whatever, so we just let it go. But I've seen him do well on the first pitch. I didn't understand that. I don't know if you ever saw that.
Mm-hmm.
He actually takes a step back. I've never seen that in a player. Something was going on. If everybody in the league thought he would be traded, then there's something going on there. Now, on the other side of that, Stu is wondering all the time, wow, we're winning. Why? Where are all the fans at? Well, you know what? How do you connect with players that are only here for a couple, 2-3 years?
Yeah.
And then they're moved. I mean, you look at the Bucks, they had all stop for years.
Mm-hmm.
Work done, even work done, but still for years. But now it's time to buy a new jersey. And you got people in the stands going, go, pitcher, what's your name?
I like Paul said he saw someone at the Rays game with a jersey on the back of it. It said prospect.
Yeah,
I mean that's what it is. Well, and here's the cycle how it repeats itself. So here's what it is. So Randy Arozarena was traded to the Mariners. They're getting in return Aiden Smith, a outfielder, a pitcher, Brody Hopkins. And a player to be named later. Zach Eflin went to the Orioles in exchange. We're getting Matthew Etzel, an outfielder, a pitcher, Jackson Baumeister, and a utility player. I guess that's the guy who plays any position or whatever. Mac Horvath. Now, the hope is these players will develop and become solid players for the team. But here's the thing: if they become solid players, they're gonna get some productivity out of them for a few seasons. And guess what? They're gonna be traded away for more prospects. And that's what's been referred to as the Rays way and the way they do things.
And you know what with the Rays payroll getting closer to $100 million, he had to get that down. He's got to get it down. Yeah. So now that gets down and down and down. So my question is, Stu. Hey, Stu, looks like you're going to get your new stadium.
Exactly.
Looks like it.
Yeah.
So when do you start paralleling up towards the players on the field?
Well,
when does that kick in?
Well, I just thought about that. So when the team, is he waiting till the team moves into the new stadium? Are we going to see a change, or is this going to be the norm? I have a feeling that this is going to be. I mean, he's a very shrewd businessman. This is how he does. He looks at things. It's all about the money that's coming in.
He's got some Hugh Culverhouse in his blood, definitely.
And so is this just going to be, even when they do move into the new stadium, is this going to be the norm? This is going to be the Rays way indefinitely. And now. This team, going back even to 2008, their first playoff year, the year they went to the World Series, the Rays have been one of the best teams in Major League Baseball in terms of winning consistently, making the playoffs consistently. And I think that's got to be a testament to the front office, to the scouting. They find players that tend to go under the radar that they get massive production from, and they get the job done, and they make the playoffs. I mean, they've made the playoffs the last 5 consecutive seasons. But the question again, well, there's two things. One, can they win a championship doing it this way? Which that's the ultimate goal of all teams. You want to win a championship. You want to win the World Series. They've been there twice, but didn't win it. But the other part of that you've said, there's no real relationship with the fans relating to the players, because they don't get a chance to know them for very long. The moment they get familiar with a name, a Randy Arozarena, or Evan Longoria was here for many years, but Carl Crawford and others, but so many of them, they're like a flash in the pan. They come here, people start to get excited about them. This is becoming a regular, a fan favorite, and then they're gone. And then like you say, now you start over. Now you're going to have to learn new names as well. And how long is that going to last? So there's no real rapport there between the fans being able to relate to what you could call their favorite players.
Now, Randy was traded to the Seattle Seahawks the other day.
The Mariners. Yeah.
Oh, Seahawks.
Yeah. They have the Seattle team.
What the heck was he doing at the game last night in the stands?
I don't know.
Normally you get traded, you pack your stuff, you tell the wife, I'm headed out there, check in with the club, I'll look at the area. He was at the game last night.
I don't get Bally Sports anymore. We get streaming, so I don't. There's a lot of the games I can't watch. That's very interesting. I don't know if I've ever heard of that.
He was in the stands with his family.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Well, and here's the other thing.
I wonder if you bought a Randy Land shirt.
Yeah.
Well, I guess they they killed that now.
That's gone. No more Randy Land. But of course, that's the other thing. They're trading. Okay, they're trading him to the Mariners, a team they're currently battling for a wild card spot.
Right.
With I think there's like maybe a 2-game separation with Seattle and the Rays, and of course, and Baltimore, who's in our division, gets Zach Eflin. And
now the only thing with Baltimore is I trust their scouting. They do a good job in scouting, like the Rays do. Look what they're at the bottom of the league as far as payroll goes, and they're one of the better teams right now in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So they're finding players, running them through the system, getting them on the cheap. But will they keep them? Like the Rays don't. So,
and it's. And again, the Rays, they're 52-52 right now. And again,
I said this probably, I don't know, 20, 30 games into the season. This is going to be a 500 club if we're lucky.
Right. Well, it's unfortunate because we've been playing this season without our top 3 starting pitchers.
Yeah, and I understand that some pitchers are going to start coming back, from injury.
Springs and Rasmussen. They're going to be limited though in the amount of time they're not going to rush them through this. They're going to go slow. But again, I just think it sends a bad message to everyone when you're still competing. They're not out of this by any means. I mean, the Royals hold the final wild card spot. Then you've got the Red Sox, then Seattle, then the Rays. But again, there's still a lot of games left to be played. They can make that up. They've been trending in the right direction. The Rays have won the majority of their series going back, I think, 5 to 6 series. I mean, I think the only series they might have lost in that stretch was the Texas series where they got swept by. But then the Yankees, they had a 4-game series. They split 2-2. So the Rays have been winning the series. They've been playing good baseball. To do something like this now, you just completely throw the morale out the window.
We're talking about what it does to the fans. What does it do to the team itself?
Yes.
When you're trading away some good players. I mean, is the Rays organization throwing in the towel? If that's the case,
that's what it looks like.
If that's the case, lower the ticket prices for the rest of the year.
Yeah, that would help. It's. I don't know. And again, who knows? Maybe they'll respond well. Maybe, I mean, they lost last night to Cincinnati. Maybe they win the next 2, win this series. They're gonna have to go on a significant enough winning stretch, I think, to get over 500, stay over 500, because there's so many good teams in the American League throughout this year that they're competing against. That's why it's going to be, even regardless if they had made these trades, they were going to have a hard time making the playoffs this year just because they're in such a competitive, not just their own division, but the whole league. You've got so many good teams so the Rays have to get hot, and they have to hope some of these other teams cool down in order to make the playoffs. But do remember, last year, you had the Rangers and you had the Diamondbacks, 2 wild card teams, make it to the World Series. They were not the best, most consistent teams during the regular season, not by any stretch, but they got hot at the right time. They started playing their best baseball at the right time. That momentum, it carried them through the playoffs. They went all the way. And so again, if the Rays, with the way the Rays have been playing as of late, who knows if they could continue to, maybe a Rosarena, maybe, I know he's had kind of a bit of a down year, but if we know what he's capable of doing when he's on. And we saw that when the Rays made the run to the World Series in 2020. And obviously Seattle must think so, because Seattle is right there in playoff competition. Their bats have been struggling. That's why they wanted a player like him. So,
well, the Rays were good last year, and they got bounced in the first round.
Yeah. Of course, again, had a lot of injuries too, and that was. And remember how they started last year. That's hard to. Yeah. But boy, that doesn't seem like a long time ago. Yeah. That way. But anyway, we're going to take a break here. But let me get out the phone numbers here. Please call in 727-441-3000. That's 727-441-3000. This is Jason Alessi along with Ed Davis and Matt Solomon here, and we're going to be back right after this on the home team on the TAN Talk Radio Network, AM 1340, AM 1350, FM 106.1, FM 102.3, and Facebook Live.
This is the TAN Talk Radio Network.
When you talk about ice rink development in West Central Florida, one name stands alone: Iceman Development, LLC. Gordy Zimmerman, president and founder of Iceman Development, has played an integral part in the construction of the Ice Sports Forum in Brandon, the training home of the three-time Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning, and the Advent Health Center Ice Complex, a multi-million-dollar facility boasting 150,000 square feet, and ranked the top indoor ice rink facility by both the USA Today and Yelp. Iceman Development is currently involved in creating yet another outstanding ice rink facility in Trinity in Pasco County. Iceman's company mission is to build community projects that impact the area both in quality of life and economic growth. For more information, visit icemandevelopment.com. That's Iceman with 2 N's, development.com.
Folks, let me tell you about a gem of a restaurant in Carrollwood. It's Hank's Place, where you'll find some of the best barbecue, catfish, wings, sausage, gator, shrimp, and a whole lot more. Their meats are dry rubbed and slowly smoked. All of your favorite sides, too, from baked beans to collard greens to mac and cheese to onion rings. Are you hungry yet? Discover why Hank's Place at 8546 North Dale Maybury, just 100 yards north of Waters Avenue, is a place that locals have known about for years. Hey, would a guy like me lie to you about food? Hank's Place, a place to hang your hat and lick your fingers.
Your number one home team fans, Auto Owners Insurance and Vermost Insurance Agency is a winning combination. We'll work with you to ensure your home, auto, business, and life to keep everything you value safe, sound, and secure. Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people. Visit the Vermost Insurance Agency in Tampa Bay today at vermost.com. That's vermost.com.
Hundreds of sets of gently used golf clubs is what you'll find at T&D Golf Stores. Conveniently located at 4205 West Waters Avenue, half a mile west of Dale Mabry, T&D has the best repair facility with the largest selection of grips in stock. You'll find a wide variety of new and used golf balls, shoes, gloves, and accessories. Family owned and operated, open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. T&D Golf at 4205 West Waters Avenue, a half mile west of Dale Mabry.
Have you been looking for a place to get a Vienna all-beef hot dog without having to travel all the way to Tampa? Now you can get that delicious hot dog in its casing that snaps when you take your first bite. I think Vienna all-beef hot dogs are the best there are. And I'm happy to tell you that you can now find them in Pinellas at Daddy Dogs on the southeast corner of State Route 580 and McMullen Booth Road in Safety Harbor. Family owned and operated. Check them out at daddydogs.com. That's daddy, DAWGS.com. Try it and you can thank me later. And don't forget to save room for Hershey's ice cream.
Life Builders Christian Counseling Center brings hurting people to wholeness in Christ. Life Builders is a professional counseling center with multiple counselors and locations in Brandon and Tampa. They offer in-person, Zoom, and group sessions, counseling individuals, married couples, children and adolescents, and families. Some of our licensed counselors take most insurances. Call 813-438-5949 or visit lifebuilderscounseling.org. Life Builders can help. 813-438-5949 and at lifebuilderscounseling.org.
Do you like tacos? How about craft beer and baseball? Then come on down to the Bay Care Ballpark for Taps and Tacos by Moe's Southwest Grill. For every Thursday Clearwater Threshers home game, we have great deals at Moe's Taco Cart in left field, plus a great selection of half-price local brewery selections on tap. Enjoy your chips and queso with 50% off on all beverages, including craft drafts, bottled water, and fountain drinks in the ballpark. ThreshersBaseball.com has all the Thursday Taps and Tacos by Moe's info you need. Hi, everyone. I'm Paul Porter, voice of the Lightning and host of the Home Team Sports Radio Show. I'm here to tell you about our educational home team, Cambridge Christian School. No longer Tampa Bay's best-kept secret, CCS is the perfect blend of academic rigor and a biblical worldview foundation, serving families for over 60 years. Come see why we are the #1 rated Christian school in Tampa and visit us at ccslancers.com.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
And welcome back to the home team. This is Jason Alessi along with Big Ed here. And you've been talking about the Rays and the recent trades they've been making with sending Randy Arozarena to the Mariners and Zach Eflin to the Orioles, getting prospects back in return. And we're going to get into to football now, talking about the Bucks in training camp. But let's go to the phone lines. We've got with us Lee on the line. Lee, good morning. Welcome to the home team.
Good morning. I got to call and say hello.
We thank you so much. Hello.
Is Paul north of the border?
I believe so. Yes,
Paul in Canada?
I believe he is. Yep, he's visiting his brother Pat up there on assignment, as we said, as Big Ed said. Yeah, he's on assignment up in Canada, visiting his brother Pat there, and then I know he's going to go visit his son too. I think Alan in Cleveland later on. But he's up there.
Well, I just did the opposite of that. Went from Cleveland to here and going back to Canada on the 9th.
Okay.
I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning watching the Olympics. I love the Olympics, love the swimming, so
I'll
good. Be in front of the team. Yeah.
I was going to get into that later on, talking about the Olympics. I just ask out in general, do people still watch the Olympics and what some of the favorite sports are? Obviously, you do, Lee. And what are? I mean, you mentioned swimming. What are your favorite Olympic events to watch?
Well, being a kid from Akron, of course, I'm rooting for LeBron in the basketball.
Right.
But I'm a swimmer, so I was a swimmer all my life. So
okay.
Those are my favorite events, and I think starting at 2:30 this afternoon, that they're having some finals, medals being presented already. So
yeah,
I thought I'd call you. I thought I'd call you guys and say hello, and then go back to the TV.
Well, we thank you so much. Yeah, I know. Different. The basketball, the men's first basketball game is tomorrow against Serbia. I was just checking out. I think it's like 11:15. They're playing. I know. Lee, I guess. Ed, you were talking about. You were watching some events like rugby prior.
Yeah, I was watching rugby was on.
So they
and I didn't. I never seen rugby before. Well, I got into it.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of guys lateraling it back and forth until you get to the goal line.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when the one guy got hit and he dropped it, I yelled fumble. I didn't know if
I tuned in a few times. Well, it's like football without the pads, without any helmets. And you talk about guys being real tough.
And the guys are fast.
Yeah.
I watched some of that rugby yesterday. I guess it was yesterday. That was interesting. But that's a rough sport with no pads. I'll tell you that.
Boy, you better believe it. Tell me, who needs pads and who needs helmets? I've always been, obviously, growing up with my dad being in the boxing promotion business. So I always am curious about the boxing in the Olympics. Watching so many fighters have become basically stars before they even made their professional debut by winning the Olympic gold medals. You think about Muhammad Ali. Of course, it was Cassius Clay at the time. You think about Sugar Ray Leonard.
Right.
So many others. I think George Foreman and others won the Olympic gold prior to Oscar De La Hoya. No, I actually got to see Oscar De La Hoya in some of the pre-trials Olympics when they had some of them in Tampa just before the '92 Olympics. I remember being there, so that was kind of neat. So he's the golden boy, and he was a star because of that even before he turned pro. So I'm always curious to see the potential next boxing stars. But Lee, what's your opinion about the Rays and them making these trades of Arozarena and pitcher Zach Eflin?
And like I said, the Rays are my second favorite team after the Guardians, and I just don't understand how they can build a fan base if you keep getting rid of the people that the fans. Arozarena was the fan favorite, I guess he was, and you get rid of your best pitcher, and you get tired of the prospects. Some of them come on, and some of them don't. I just don't know why. I don't understand.
And the ones that do come on, guess what? You can expect them to be traded for more prospects. That's the way the cycle goes with them, it seems.
Yeah, I don't get it. But like I said, they don't pay me to run their team. But,
and I think
it hurt. I think it hurts their attendance. I really do.
I think Randy was probably their biggest marketing player. I would have to say
with that Randy. I know you, Ed. You mentioned you don't like a player. Saying, but did they have though? I mean, in New York with Judge, they have the judges. The what do you call the guys in the judges chamber? Judges chamber. Yeah. But they have something like that.
But I think that's the fans have created that themselves.
Right.
Just like the Oakland Raiders of old did the black hole.
The black hole. In Washington, with the Redskins, you had the Hogettes, the guys.
But you got every game promotion is go to Randyland on Friday night, get a T-shirt,
you figure
get drunk, and
when you're struggling for attendance, you got to try to think of gimmicks or something.
I'm all for that, but you can't turn around and get rid of the player you've been promoting the last 2 years.
No. I mean that
you can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, so I guess they just killed their own marketing. Marketing strategy.
On the other side of the coin, I'm saying he needed to be traded. Yeah, that's the thing. I wouldn't have made him. I wouldn't have done the whole Randyland thing to begin with.
Well, supposedly there's also there's still a picture of Randy Arozarena sliding into home plate somewhere on the concourse at the Trop. They haven't taken it out yet since he got traded.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
Strange.
Well, what's the difference? He was in the game last night. They can tear stuff down. He was sitting in the stands.
Yeah. I guess they had enough injuries when they
Can you
asked him to
imagine
come
the
back
Seattle guys going, is that the guy we just traded for the other day? What the hell is? I thought I saw him in his locker a few minutes ago.
Yeah, I will tell you, I've never heard that. He said some guy gets the news that they've been traded mid-game and they're gone. They go back to the locker room and cleaning up.
He was traded the day before.
Well, yeah, and it's for him to still be there is very strange. But who knows? I guess that's part of the Rays way too. Keep him on a little longer.
Well, it's going to be even stranger at the end of August when the Rays go to Seattle for 3 games: August 26th, 27th, and 28th.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, critical games. I mean, obviously Seattle.
I think it'd be strange when they come here.
Yeah,
when Seattle comes here, and Randy probably jacks three homers a game in the Randy
land. Yeah,
we're gonna have to wait till next year to do that, though. They don't play each other again here this year.
Yeah.
Hey, Jason, speaking of boxing, did you watch the Paul fight last Saturday?
No, I'm not into all him. Speaking about gimmicks, he's a gimmick as far as I'm concerned.
Who is this?
The Jake Paul, the whole thing. I mean, what was this whole thing? He became popular on the internet.
Yeah,
him
and his brother Logan both became internet.
I know. They were promoting. He was going to fight Tyson, but they had to cancel that because Tyson had some medical issues that he couldn't fight.
Tyson didn't fight.
They didn't. No.
I
mean, Tyson's 57 years old too. So I mean, but even though I think Tyson still could kick his butt, but
wouldn't surprise me.
I think somebody got to Tyson.
Yeah,
a little common sense.
Yeah, I don't know. No, Lee, I didn't check that out. That's just not my cup of tea. I honestly don't think that does boxing much good. That sort of thing. But anyway.
Okay, I know they had 15,000 people at the Amway Arena.
Yeah, I did hear that. It was big. So obviously people came to watch it. So from that point of view, I guess it's good. But I don't know. Interesting. But
all right. Well, I'll catch you at the bakeries one day this week.
Please do.
Right? Gotta get down there before I go back to Canada.
Wonderful. Right. Thank you. I'll see you then. Take care.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right, Lee. Thank you so much. And, getting now, we're talking about the Rays, but let's get to training camp. Of course, the Bucs are going on right now. It's going to be very interesting with the Bucs this year. Last year, going in, there were so many questions. Obviously, Tom Brady had retired. They brought in Baker Mayfield. Wasn't sure what you were going to get with him. There were a lot of new faces. Todd Bowles was on the hot seat, and some so-called experts were picking the Bucs to finish near maybe the top 5 bottom of the NFL. They surprised everyone. They snuck up on people. They won their division. They won a playoff game in impressive fashion over the Eagles, and then they lost a close game on the road in the divisional round to the Lions. The question this year, when they're going to have higher expectations, can they do well when they're expected to do well? That's an interesting fact. I love this team, talent-wise. I think they've got a great mix of young players and veteran players. And so many of the rookies and second-year players have really stepped up and have made immediate impacts, I think.
When you hear the negativity about the team, there were a lot of people that just – Todd Bowles, the head coach, just doesn't sit well with not only fans but people in the media. And I got to tell you, I like Todd Bowles. And I think he could win a Super Bowl here, maybe even 2, if he does one thing and one thing only. Keep your hands off of the offense. Mm-hmm. We saw it in full-blown last year. What was it, about the 4th or 5th game where the offense was struggling. Baker Mayfield comes out in the media and says, I don't know what we're doing here. We're having a problem, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden, things changed. And then they started going on a winning streak. Could it be that Todd Bowles finally took his hands off the offense? Well, because a defensive coordinator that is also a head coach also has say on what they do on offense.
Sure.
And a defensive coordinator likes offenses to be very vanilla and not give up the ball and not throw it deep much.
Was that not what Tony Dungy did? I mean, it's
exactly.
great. And Tony Dungy, great
exactly.
coach.
And then he went to Indianapolis where they said, we love you here. Keep your hands off the offense.
Well, you had a guy named Peyton Manning, too. I think it made it easier for them to do when it was in Indianapolis.
I still remember it was a playoff game. They just played it on the NFL Network the other day. The playoff game, I think it was against the Colts, I think, or somebody. No, it was the Colts and I think New England, where it was 4th down on the 30-yard line, Indy's 30-yard line, and Peyton Manning waves off the punt team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I remember asking Carl Williams the next day, when Dungy was here, can you imagine? He goes, no, nobody would have had that kind of.
That's the difference when you have Peyton Manning as opposed to Trent Dilfer. I don't think he had much confidence in
then he
Trent
goes,
Dilfer.
well, look, you or I managing a team, coaching a team could probably win if you had Peyton Manning. He went to Denver. Who was the head coach in Denver when Peyton Manning won the Super Bowl there?
Yeah, it was Gary Kubiak.
Nope.
Nope.
He used to be head coach of the Carolina Panthers.
Well, John Fox, they lost it. John Fox lost the Super Bowl. Remember Super Bowl 48.
Well, I'm talking about when he was with Denver.
Well, no, I know.
And Peyton Manning was in Denver.
Right, but see, John Fox was the coach initially.
Yes.
They went to the Super Bowl 48. They lost to Seattle.
And then he was out of football.
But I think John Fox resigned after the 2014 season.
He did.
And then Gary Kubiak became, and then they won it in 2015.
They won it with Kubiak. They won it with Kubiak.
Because you know what? Because I think that John Fox wanted to go in a different direction. He felt Manning might be near the end of his career, or on the down. Well, he was on the down end, but I think Fox was looking differently. But I don't know. But I see
the
what
whole
you're saying.
And when Dungy could have had the same thing here, but players would tell me that they would practice things all week, and certain things they were going to do in the game. When the game came around, they never did them.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't know why, and we're always accused of having a vanilla offense. But you know what?
We'll see. One of the things.
Todd Bowles has got a great defense. I mean, I put it up there with the rest of them. And he can even bring in the young players like Dungy did and Monty Kiffin did.
Well, you look at some of the ones like even from last year, the rookies, Kalijah Cansey and Yaya Diaby, the cornerback Christian Izzian, all made immediate impacts. You've got Logan Hall, who I think is going to be entering his 3rd year. You've got a lot of talent here.
Can we close the book on Randy Gregory, please? Who wanted that mess around here?
Okay, who?
Randy Gregory.
I'm trying to.
Past defender. He was out in Dallas for a while. He got in trouble and all that.
I didn't even. I haven't
Denver
heard of him
for a while.
Yeah,
Randy Gregory.
Okay. Honestly, I hadn't even heard of him.
He didn't show up for any of the workouts.
Maybe that's why I haven't heard of him, because if he's out of sight, out of mind, I guess.
They put him on the non-show up idiot list or whatever it is.
Okay.
Pup list? Is that what you're thinking of? Or am I getting it mixed up?
Beats me. You go join Antonio Brown, I guess.
Yeah, probably.
But anyway, the Bucks. I like this team this year. The one thing you can never predict is injuries. That's what can derail any team season. But assuming if we can keep our guys healthy, I mean we've got and I wrote down our rookie list this year. Graham Barton out of Duke, the offensive lineman. He's expected to start right away. He might be the center, but he can play multiple positions along the offensive line. We got Chris Braswell, the edge linebacker from Alabama. Tyke Smith, a safety from Georgia, the wide receiver out of Washington, Jalen McMillan, and so these are all guys who can add to the depth, at least at this point. Curious, the one player that I'm curious about is the running back Bucky Irving out of Oregon. Now we had, because the one area I certainly would like us to improve is the running game. Rashad White, I thought, made big strides last year, a major improvement. He's not a fast guy, though. He's good at finding the holes in the line. He's great. He's great on screen plays. Yeah. One of the best screen backs. He can hit those plays big and take it all the way for a touchdown. Bucky Irving's a small back, but he's got a lot of speed. Kind of reminds me in the form maybe of a Ward Dunn, Darren Sproles type. So he could, I think, really add something to the running game. So we'll see what happens with that. We're going to hit another break here, though, but phone lines are open. Please call in. It's 727-441-3000. That's 727-441-3000. We'll be back right after this on the home team on the Tan Talk Radio Network, AM 1340 and 1350, FM 106.1, 102.3, and Facebook
Live.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
There's no place like this place anywhere near this place, so this must be the place. That's what they've been saying about the Palm Pavilion since 1926. The Palm Pavilion on the north end of the sparkling beach is a Clearwater beach landmark. Situated directly on the beach overlooking the Gulf of Mexico, the Palm Pavilion is the place to order cool tropical drinks and watch spectacular sunsets. Tempt your taste buds with perfect pasta, sizzling steaks, chicken or seafood wraps, shrimp and crab chowder. Come for a day or stay for the night. A casual atmosphere featuring live entertainment on the deck. The Palm Pavilion Inn and Beachside Grill and Bar on sparkling Clearwater Beach. Visit them on the web at palmpavilion.com, or better yet, visit in person, 10 Bay Esplanade on the north end of Clearwater Beach. The Palm Pavilion Inn and Beachside Grill.
This is Paul Porter. For the past 12 years, we've not endorsed an air conditioning company on the home team. Until now, I'm happy to tell you about the family-owned and operated air conditioning company, Action Air Conditioning. David Russell and his family run their business with three principles in mind: honesty, integrity, and reliability. They've been in business since 1988. They service the entire home team listing area. From service to AC checkups to a whole new system, Action Air Conditioning is the AC company for you. Why do I speak so highly of Action Air Conditioning? I've used them many times at multiple properties, and I've been completely satisfied every time. Visit them on the web at actionairconditioning.com. That's actionairconditioning.com. Or you can call them at 813-935-6644. If you're in need of an air conditioning company, take it from me. Action Air is your company. 813-935-6644. 813-935-6644. actionairconditioning.com. One of the questions I'm often asked is, how do you do it? With my busy schedule of working for the Lightning, Magic, Buccaneers, and the home team, I need to be in very good health. One person I have to thank for keeping me in good health for years is Dr. Troy Stirk of Stirk Family Medicine. He's helped me keep my blood pressure in check, my heart running smoothly, and an overall healthy feeling that is confirmed by my lab results. If you're looking for a good family physician, I heartily recommend Dr. Troy Stirk at Stirk Family Medicine. You can reach his office at 813-264-7922. That's 813-264-7922. I'll tell you, Dr. Stirk is fantastic, and I'm sure you'll feel the same way if you become one of his patients. So now that you know my secret to staying healthy with a busy schedule, it's your turn. Call Dr. Troy Stirk at Stirk Family Medicine, 813-264-7922. Now you can get that delicious Vienna all-beef hot dog in Pinellas County at Dade Dogs on the southeast corner of McMullen Booth Road and State Route 580 in Safety Harbor. They feature 10 different types of hot dogs with over 25 different toppings. Hershey's ice cream, too. Now you don't have to drive to Tampa to get the best hot dog there is. Check out their menu at daddydogs.com. That's daddy, DAWGS.com. Family owned and operated. daddydogs.com. This is Paul Porter. You know, with the schedule I keep working for the Lightning, Magic, and Buccaneers, a good night's sleep is a must for me. That's why I'm happy to tell you about the Original Mattress Factory. Their mattresses are hand-built right here in Tampa Bay with the highest quality at a very reasonable price. They aren't like these other mattress companies that'll jack their prices up every holiday and then do a so-called super discount during their so-called sale. You actually end up paying more than what the mattress is worth. The secret
is, with OMF, you're getting factory direct pricing and eliminating the middleman retailer. There's no high-pressure salespeople either. OMF is employee-owned, and they make it all about you. Double-sided mattresses, and they even email you when it's time to flip your mattress. Stop by their factory on Almerton Road in Clearwater and see for yourself, or visit one of their stores in Tampa or Brandon. There's nothing like a good night's sleep, and you'll get it with the Original Mattress Factory, and you'll get it for less. The Original Mattress Factory. Did you know that Cambridge Christian School Athletic Department was honored with the Kerry McDonald Award as the 2A Athletic Program of the Year for the second consecutive year? The CCS Lancers have had 71 district championships, 21 regional championships, 5 state championships, and 37 Final Four teams. Over 200 of our student athletes have signed to play at the college level, and one has joined an NFL team. Visit us today at ccslancers.com.
In 1955, the law firm now known as Perenick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes made a decision. Instead of taking whatever cases came through their doors, they decided to focus specifically on personal injury. 64 years later, the law firm is one of Clearwater's longest-running personal injury firms. Available 24 hours a day with offices in Clearwater and throughout Tampa Bay, they're ready to put decades of experience to work for you if you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or injured due to someone's negligence or recklessness. If you feel overwhelmed, uncertain, or unsure about your next steps after being involved in an accident or after a loved one sustained serious injuries due to someone else's negligence, call Perenick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes at 727-796-8282 or online at usalaw.com. That's 727-796-8282 or online at usalaw.com. Non-attorney spokesman.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Welcome back to the home team. This is Jason Alessi along with Big Ed today. Paul Porter is out on assignment/vacation.
He has been seen on assignment, by the way. We had somebody actually say something on him. He's been seen in North Bay wearing a light jacket.
Okay then.
So that gives you a weather report, too.
We've got, there you go. Yep, we've got our sources. Anyway, though, we're discussing because we've been talking about the Rays and their trades, but we're just talking about football as it's coming up. A Hall of Fame game. Actually, just saw the ads on the TV and here for the Bears and Texans this Thursday coming up. That signal, that always symbolizes the return of football. It's just, I'm excited and then I'm not for two reasons. Yes, I'm excited with the preseason because football is back, and I'm always happy when football is back. But the preseason has become so brutal in recent years. Watching it when none of the top players play, there's nothing really you can take away from it. The only intriguing thing is to see some of the rookies, the young players. Now with the Bears, Caleb Williams, who was a number 1 draft pick, so you'll see a little bit more of him. With the Bucs, I want to see the rookies play. But in terms of what to take away, I guess the only thing you could say is hope no one gets injured. But there's no way to tell if your team's going to be good or bad based upon the preseason.
I'll tell you where it's brutal, in the wallet.
Mm-hmm.
Because you still pay full price for an NFL game as you do in preseason.
Sure.
It's the same price.
Yeah.
And I remember years ago when the Bucs were making the playoffs and the tickets in the playoffs were so much more. And I asked somebody in the Bucs front office, I said, why are the tickets so, expensive when it comes to play? Well, because the outcome has a greater, meaning.
And you brought it
to
about
the preseason. And then I said, well, what about the preseason has no meaning whatsoever?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I got a phone call coming, so, whatever. And they took off.
Yeah, of course they did. Well, and what's interesting, of course, they because people complained about the preseason and how
it's
it is
boring.
So fun, they that's why they took away a preseason game. But what did they do? They added another regular season game because the owners, I guess, they said, if we're going to lose money on the preseason, we got to have it make them somewhere. So
they're warming up to taking away another preseason game and adding another
18.
game to the end. It'll be 18.
Yes, yep.
So because you know what? All you need to do is really see your starters for the first game, maybe in the first quarter, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, that's become the norm. Now, do you think there's the school of thinking, should the starters play more in preseason? I know you're running the risk of injury, but you're also saying, okay, if you want to get them football ready come week 1, shouldn't they play more and to get on the same page?
Yeah, but how much better are you going to get playing a bunch of guys that are backups anyway?
Well, but I guess my point is, should both teams play their starters? So the starters are playing the starters for a longer period of time.
In the old days, the third preseason game, your starters played the whole half.
Right.
But now it's like it's
but even in the old days, you did see the starters play a little bit more during the first couple of preseason games.
And then the fourth game was just awful.
Yeah.
The fourth game was just guys that are bagging groceries next week anyway.
I remember watching the preseason, and when I was younger, when I was a kid, and I would get just as excited about the preseason as I would a regular season. Of course, probably being a kid, you don't know any better.
Were you watching the Bucks?
Well, I was watching. Yeah.
Well, that's the only time they won was the preseason.
Well, exactly. But that would get if they had a good preseason, we get excited and say, hey, maybe this is finally their year. Maybe this is finally their year.
I remember those days.
And the first year I really was into football, I think was Richard Williamson was a coach. I think we went 3-1, had a great preseason, regular season 3-13. Okay.
And I remember all those tailgating days in the late 80s. We've got Vinny Testaverde now. We're going over the hump. Yeah.
Well, my question to you two is, and this isn't Bucks related, but it is football related, the 2 new contract extensions that were just handed out for starting quarterbacks. One to Jordan Love, the other one to Tua Tagovailoa in Miami.
If I were Baker Mayfield, I'd demand a recount.
Well, here's the thing. Timing. It comes down to timing.
Right.
Quarterbacks, they get hot at the right time nowadays, or maybe your wallet's going to blow up. You're going to get the money because that's the way it's going.
I'm not mistaken. They both have a playoff win under their belt.
They do.
Yes. But everyone, the contracts, the way it is now, they're going through the roof, and every player that's the next greatest thing since sliced bread, they're going to get theirs, and that's why Tua Tagovailoa and Jordan Love. Okay, that's what they that's why they got there. Now the one worry with Tua is the injury, the concussions.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's a major concern. Hopefully he can stay healthy and avoid that. You don't want to see that, because I think Big Ed, you were mentioning he made one more concussion. That could be it.
Yeah.
That honestly, as many as he's already had.
Whether he likes it or not.
Yeah, I know.
It's not his call.
Yeah, and Jordan Love, now obviously when the Packers drafted him a few seasons ago, that was not a real popular choice among them, and not against Aaron Rodgers. It's shown now to be absolutely the right choice when you consider you look towards the future. And it was kind of the same thing when the Packers had Brett Favre and they drafted Aaron Rodgers. I was the same scenario.
I think maybe Jordan Love is benefiting to the system that happened before that. The fact that Aaron Rodgers spent 2-3 years under Brett Favre,
exactly,
and then Jordan Lynn comes, he spends a couple of years under.
And part of that, some people the argument, well, you don't learn anything sitting on the bench, but then others will say, well, maybe it's better you sit on the bench and learn a little bit. Ultimately, I think it mostly comes down to, do you have it or not? Because whether you're put in right away and play and struggle and go through your lumps as a rookie and an inexperienced player, or you wait a little bit and get in, either you've got it or you don't. And some players, it just might not matter. I mean, Peyton Manning, he was thrown in right away. I mean, I think his rookie year, he led the league in interceptions, but we know how his career went.
But you could see there was something there. I mean, you could see that. I mean,
and then Ryan Leaf, the other one at the top draft. Well,
I was going to say either him or Jamarcus Russell.
Oh gosh, what was the thing about Jamarcus Russell where he could sit on his knee and throw the ball so many yards, and they made a big thing about that. Look at his arm. Yeah. Look at his arm. How he can throw the ball.
But he can't watch tape or read playbooks.
But can you throw it to the receiver accurately and do it without throwing it to the other team
in a game time situation?
Yeah.
He looked good in practice.
Sure.
Nobody was chasing him,
as so many do. You're not too high on Caleb Williams with the Bears. You think he may be a bust? Interesting. Why is that?
Well, the whole thing with when he was at USC, the problems he had there with the losing, he didn't handle that well. He jumped in the stands and cried into mommy's arms. He came out and said that whoever drafts me in the NFL, my asking price is going to be a percentage of the team. You haven't taken a snap yet.
No, that's
and Chicago's a rough place to play. The honeymoon is about 8 games.
Yeah.
And that's it.
It's funny. Chicago, the Bears are one of the original teams in the NFL, starting in 1920, of course, with George Halas. I think they were the Decatur Staleys when they first came in the league. Anyway, they've never really had a great quarterback. Jim McMahon, obviously, the great 85 team. Okay. Sid Luckman, though, I think Sid Luckman would be probably considered the best quarterback in the history of the Chicago Bears. That's about it. Jim Harbaugh was pretty good. I remember, obviously he was, he played, he's a rival with the Bucs for many years. The early 90s. Okay. But
another team that's just done some bad drafting. Yeah. All through the years, they've just done some bad drafting. And that's football, people.
That it is, yeah. Let me get the phone numbers here. Please call in 727-441-3000. That's 727-441-3000. We got our phone lines open. But going back to the Bucs, though, you had heard something that even after winning the division last year, some people are not even giving them that much credit to do that well in their own division this year. What's up with that?
They're picked to be the bottom part of the NFC South.
I find that hard to believe.
Well, as we discussed, could it be that the Falcons are going to be a little bit better this year? Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes.
And could the Saints be as good as they were a couple of years ago? Possibly, which would put them at the Bucs falter, and they have some, losing skid that could put them at third. That's the bottom.
Even with Kirk Cousins coming in, and granted, Kirk Cousins is. As well as he's played, he is older and injury prone. Obviously he's coming off a torn Achilles, so it's a serious injury. And by the way, Atlanta has already said he's not playing a snap in the preseason. He's not going to play at all. Which, coming back from that injury, okay, I get it. But
and they wasted a draft
that's the other thing.
First round draft choice.
Their defense really struggled, and they could have improved it right there, but they went after. They got Michael Penix again, a player I liked, couldn't have, but he's not going to help him right away, and. I think that the Bucs overall, I think the Bucs defense is much better than the Falcons. I think they're a more well-rounded team. Yes, Atlanta is talented, and I think certainly Kirk Cousins is going to help them. But do I think that they're overall better than the Bucs? No. Do I think the Saints, Derek Carr is not a bad quarterback, and the Saints have a pretty good defense. But do I think they're better than the Bucs? No. Now things can change according to injuries, and some players will play better. Some players might disappoint, but certainly I think the Bucs should be right there, considered with Atlanta to take this division, and anyone picking them to be at the bottom.
Well, I hate before the season starts to start figuring out how many wins they're going to have.
Well, but that's part of what we do.
But we got to
have the speculation.
You would think you'd have to have at least 10 wins to win the division, and that didn't happen last year. So
but listen, what is our schedule? We start out with Washington. That should be a win, but it's a pretty tough schedule. when you're a good team, you get better teams.
But on the other side too, the teams they're playing could have major injuries too. You never know.
Right. Yeah. Well, Carolina's the one. I think everyone can say they're going to be at the bottom.
Well, the first month of the season is Washington, in Detroit, host Denver, host Philly. That's the first month of the season.
So a couple of games I think should be wins. A couple of games might be losses, tougher, but you never know. I still think that this team. I like what this team is. The way they're going. Last year was the year people thought it was going to be a bad year. It didn't turn out that way, and now with having a quarterback who I think you've got confidence in Baker Mayfield,
it kind of was a bad year. Winning season. Winning record, didn't we?
9-8. No. The previous year, those 9-8. We had 9-8. We won the playoff game. Anyway, we're
still under 10.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we can change that this year. We're about to hit the top of the hour break here, but I'm going to get the phone numbers again. Please call us 727-441-3000. This is Jason Alessi along with Big Ed. We're here on the home team on the Tan Talk Radio Network, AM 1340, AM 1350, FM 106.1, FM 102.3, and as always, Facebook
Live.
WTAN, Clearwater.
FM 106.1.
WDCF, Dade City.
FM 102.3.
Listen.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Vicki Barker. Former President Donald Trump delivers a campaign speech urging Christians to vote once.
During his speech, Trump encouraged Christians to come out and vote. He said that he wants to win in a landslide so big that it's too big to rig, and that if he is brought into power, they won't have to vote again in 4 years because he'll have fixed the country.
CBS's Natalie Brand reporting. In Northern California, fleeing the park fire.
I got all my important papers, all my pictures off the wall, all my bank accounts, my cats, my dogs.
More than 300,000 acres already burned. Evacuations ordered in 4 counties across the border in Canada. A fast-moving wildfire has destroyed parts of the historic mountain town of Jasper in one of Canada's most treasured national parks. The verdict of visitors to last night's rain-soaked, star-studded opening ceremony of the Paris Games.
Truly like a dream come true. Even though it was raining, it was just magical.
It was also just mortifying for the organizers when they realized they'd gotten one country's name badly wrong.
At the opening ceremony, South Korea was introduced as the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, but that's North Korea's name. South Korea's is the Republic of Korea. The embarrassing mistake led the IOC to apologize on social media. Its president will also meet with the leader of South Korea. Wendy Gillette, CBS News, Paris.
On the first full day of competition, Team USA has a silver in the 3-meter synchronized springboard competition, and the men's gymnastics team is through today's qualifying round. To the Middle East now, and Palestinians sheltering in a safe haven in Gaza are being told to get out. The BBC's Mark Lowen has that.
The Israeli Defense Forces have dropped flyers and they have sent SMS messages and voice notes and made media appearances urging people to leave a part of Al-Mawasi. Now, that is a 16 square kilometer strip of land on the coast in southern Gaza, which had been designated a humanitarian zone. Now, a part of that zone, a southern chunk of it, has now, the Israeli military say being used for rocket attacks against the Israeli army and for, as they call it, terrorist infrastructure. So basically what they have done is that they have redesignated or adjusted the boundaries of the humanitarian zone by saying that southern little bit of Al-Mawasi is no longer a safe humanitarian zone.
Gaza's latest death toll, more than 39,000. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Get renter's insurance to protect the things that make your place a home, including coverage for theft or damage. Visit Progressive.com.
Did you ever think about hosting your very own radio show? Here's how.
Hey, Tampa Bay, did you know you can have a 1-hour program on the TAN Talk Radio Network for less than the cost of one 60-second announcement on many Tampa Bay stations? That's right. We'll put you on the radio for less than the cost of one 60-second announcement on many stations. Check it out today. Use your program to promote yourself, your business, or someone else's business. Call Lola Jean, the broadcast queen, 727-510-7622. That's 510-7622. Call Lola Jean now to check out your TAN Talk network program. In addition to network radio, we'll stream your program in audio and video all over the world. Call Lola Jean now, 727-510-7622. Call today. Your network 1-hour program can start tomorrow. Broadcast your message in audio and video on the TAN Talk Radio Network.
Do you have questions after being injured in a car accident or injured because of someone's negligence? Do you feel overwhelmed or uncertain about the next steps after being injured in a crash? The personal injury attorneys at Peronick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes have been helping their injured clients since 1955 and are now on this radio station to provide guidance to you. Listen to FLA Law each Tuesday from 5 to 6 p.m. Let their decades of experience help you and your family. Offices in Clearwater, non-attorney spokesman.
Hey listeners, tune in to Nostalgic Radio and Cars Tuesdays at 7 p.m. I play some groovy 60s, 70s music and talk about far-out cars. I'll bring you up to speed on some bitchin' car shows, swap meets, and vintage racing. So join us Tuesdays at 7 p.m. on the Tan Talk Radio Network. Listen to my interviews with special car guys, celebrities, racers, builders, customizers, and collectors. We'll discuss cars, auctions, values, restoration, project cars, and parts. We'll have featured cars. We'll talk about test drives. We'll include topics on boats, planes, and vintage musical instruments. So tune in to Nostalgic Radio and Cars Tuesdays at 7 p.m. on the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Hello, this is the one and only Robbie the Shark. I want to welcome you to the new program, All Groovy, man. I just want a bunch of folks in front of my porch. Let's have a Coca-Cola, a sweet tea, or whatever your drink of flavor is, and let's just talk about life and how far we've come. It's on the only 1340 WTAN Tan Talk Radio Network.
It's All Groovy with Robbie the Shark. Thursdays from 8 to 9 p.m. Listen at your own risk.
This is Paul Porter, the arena voice of the Tampa Bay Lightning and Orlando Magic, and the press box voice of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I hope you'll join me every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for my weekly show, The Home Team, heard right here on the Tan Talk Radio Network and Facebook Live, The Home Team with Paul Porter, talking Lightning, Bucks, Rays, USF, and a whole lot more. Your calls and prize giveaways. Join us this Saturday and every Saturday morning for The Home Team, 9 to 11 on the Tan Talk Radio Network.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
The Rays have won the American League pennant. The Tampa Bay Lightning win their second straight Stanley Cup.
And when the Super Bowl ended, the ball would be in the hands of Tom Brady.
I don't know why we ever think it won't.
It's time for the Home Team on the Tan Talk Radio Network. The Home Team is brought to you in part by Cambridge Christian School, a Christian education that's affordable and well-respected. By FAS Windows and Doors, with stores in Tampa and Orlando. By Action Air Conditioning, family-owned and operated, serving the entire Tampa Bay area. And now, here he is, the arena voice of the Tampa Bay Lightning and Orlando Magic, and the press box voice of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Paul Porter.
And welcome back to the Home Team, hour number 2. This is not Paul Porter. This is Jason Alessi. Paul Porter is out this week on the vacation slash assignment. But anyway, I'm proud to be joined here by our good friend, Big Ed. And, we've been discussing a lot. We've been talking about the Rays and their recent trades involving Randy Arozarena and Zach Eflin. We've been talking about the Bucks as we get ready for football. And training camp is here. We're going to get also into a little bit of some college football and talk some more about the Olympics, which we just had the opening ceremonies last night. Already a few medals have been handed out for some of the early events that have started. But right now we're going to go to the phone lines. We've got Anthony with us on the line. Anthony, good morning. Welcome to the Home Team.
Hey, good morning, guys. Let me first off start by saying that I was kind of scrolling through the channels, and I happened to come across what is currently called professional entertainment wrestling. And I'm telling you, it's atrocious. I'm old school. I'm going back to like the NWA, WWF, AWA. But the products now is, I guess the tickets are pretty reasonable, but the product is just awful. Yeah, just totally awful.
I have in my closet somewhere, Anthony, I think 2 boxes full of the old original, the giant rubber wrestling action figures. This is Hulk Hogan. This is Roddy Piper, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, who actually I think attended the University of Tampa, if I'm not mistaken. He did. And Andre the Giant, all those. Yeah. Oh, I was a diehard wrestling fan, man. The first time I went. I think me and my dad went to an event at the Sun Dome. Of course, Jerry Briscoe, you knew him well. He used to get us front row seats. And, man, I was a big fan. But, yeah, it's not quite the same, I'm sure, now.
Well, I go back to the years of Buddy Colt, Dusty Rhodes, Eddie Graham, superstar Billy Graham, Mike Graham, Joe LeDuc, the Canadian Freight Train. I go back to the times when you had more of a storyline. Each Saturday, you can follow the storyline, and it's sort of original. Now, you see these guys talking from the middle of the ring, and it's a joke. And how they can garner so much. I mean, those arenas are packed. I would say there's probably 20 to 25,000 people in those arenas, and you have people holding these stinking placards with these words on them. It just doesn't make any sense now. And then you're talking about people you can follow each year or so. You can't really follow anybody because they all move along to different areas. And it's going to go back to segue into baseball. The Rays, I mean, who can you follow? Who's consistently there from one year to the next?
The prospect. Just say prospect. Whoever that may be, that's who you follow, the prospects.
So why even fork over money for a shirt with some player's name on it if they're not going to be around for
Sure, but why shell out $50, $60, $70 for a seat?
Paul said he was at the game and a guy had on a jersey, on the back of the jersey, it said prospect. Problem solved. Start selling the jerseys saying prospect.
Put on the back your name here.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the same thing with the Lightning. Unless it's a player like Hedman or Kucherov or Vasilevsky who are going to pretty much stick around, what's the purpose of buying a shirt? You know, Stamkos is a collector's item for sure, but guys who just come in, why put these jerseys out for sale if they're not going to be keeping these players around?
Well, the Lightning have done that. The Lightning, at least, we have ownership that's committed to winning. Stu Sternberg is committed to counting the money.
The Lightning have come up against a thing called the salary cap, for one thing, and then you have to work that around. But maybe we should start this today. How about we come up with a jersey with a name on the back that's always going to be here? Mm-hmm. Sternberg.
Right. Mm-hmm. Sure.
Every jersey, we get a jerseys made up with Sternberg on the back.
And then people might throw them in the fire. Well, and people might want to throw them in the fire or put an X through it. I mean, you could do something like that. Talk about gimmicks. I mean, we got Randy Land. Maybe you get a bunch of Sternberg jerseys and
think about the people at the beginning of the year that bought the Randy Land tickets, went out and got the Randy Land shirts. Liquored up on some of the Randy Land drinks during the game, spent the money, and now he's gone.
Yeah.
So where are you Rays fans now that one of your favorite players that they've been marketing all year long for the rest of the year, they're just like, well, he's gone.
Next one up.
Siri, come on over here, Siri.
Yeah. He could be the next one. He's at least got he's got a personality. No, he plays with swagger. He's a showboat, but so maybe they do something with him. We'll have to think about.
Siri's been traded.
For a team that needs to have a following, and then again, this new stage, this new ballpark they're going to be putting up, where are the fans going to? Where are they going to come in? I mean, if they're not showing up for the Trop, what's gonna make them show up to this new ballpark?
Well, at first it's gonna be the thing. It's gonna be a new thing, and people are gonna want to go there. And of course, they're talking about redeveloping the land around it. If that all comes to fruition, it could be an event with other places around it.
Why don't we just put masks on all the players because it's not gonna matter?
But see, that's the thing. I mean, I'm wondering again: is this the Rays' way of trading away your key players for prospects, is this going to stop once they move into that new stadium, or is this just going to be continuous?
I don't think we're never going to be $200-300 million payrolls. Don't get me wrong. No, but they can continue the Rays' way with their prospects coming up, but you have to mix in the veterans and the ones that do develop to keep them around.
Sure. Are they going to at least keep these players around longer? That's my question.
Well, that's what we heard. If I had a new stadium and I could afford all these new suites and all that stuff, well, obviously I can start keeping players around.
It hasn't started. I guess he hasn't decided. I think he's going to decide at what point with the new stadium. Does that mean actually when they move into the new stadium? It must mean that, or does it? Because obviously,
there's a final vote coming up on this, and I believe that's there's a final vote coming up.
The 30th.
I would ask that if I were one of the guys voting, or one of the people voting, I would ask.
Are you going? Yeah. Are you going to keep
before
your players?
I cast my vote? Give me a timeline of when you start paying the players to start staying around. Because I've got a kid with a jersey.
Yeah.
My recommendation is to just buy the team jerseys and hats and bypass having any players' names on them.
That's sort of fun.
And in the fact that if they're going to be a short-term player sticking around, don't price those jerseys as the equivalent of the pro players. I mean, like a Stamkos or a Hedman. Give the fans a choice to be, not to bleed their wallets out, man. Just give it a reasonable price and not go overboard.
Well,
and it's just ridiculous.
I think fans should probably just don't buy the jersey. Just buy a regular Rays shirt and a Rays hat.
But try to tell a kid that.
Yeah.
That's just like the concession price. Oh, we can't afford that big cotton candy thing. So feed your kids before you go to the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that works.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. So as far as the Rays, I see them as a more consistent appearance as far as fan attendance than the carnival or the fair, because the fair comes around once a year. How often do carnivals come around? It's the same thing with the Rays. There's just the fan base is not here. I mean, they got probably about 10, 11,000.
Those are the diehards. Those are the diehards that have been going since day one.
Well, and the other thing is, again, part of it is the team get turned off with Sternberg's antics of not paying the players. The other thing is just baseball in general can be a dying sport. The sport of baseball is not what it once was, because I think so much of the younger generation, it's too slow moving, and they want it now. Boom, boom, boom.
Jason, it's also very expensive. I don't know if you've seen the ticket prices and you've seen the concession prices.
A lot of games,
yeah,
a lot more games than the other sports. I know,
but how do you listen? How do you tell a kid that your favorite player is gone? Well, women that only came to the game because Kiermaier was there.
Sure.
For crying out loud, now he's gone. Well, he needed to go, but still, he was around for a while.
You'll bring in another good-looking prospect, a really good-looking guy to take his place.
At some point, you have to wonder, because when we go around the playoff season and the Rays are close to the playoffs, we hear on the national media, look at the Rays, look at the Tropicana field, it's half empty. Why don't these people go to the games? It's exactly because of what happened yesterday or the day before, whatever he was traded. He was at the game last night. I wonder if he paid.
In regards to the,
I wonder if his card worked, to get in the door.
Yeah. Anthony, we got to hit the next break, Anthony. But we thank you so much for calling.
Yeah, real quickly, is in regards to the Rays, it's a lack of tradition. You can't match that with Wrigley Field, with places like that,
Yankee Stadium,
Boston, New York, it's not here. It's not here.
You don't have to go that far. Look at tradition that's been built on the Bucks. Look at the traditions that have been placed on the Lightning now. The Rays are not doing it.
No, sure, and hopefully that'll change. Anthony, thank you so much. All right, we'll talk to you later. We're going to hit a break right now, but I'll give out the numbers again. Please call us 727-441-3000, 727-441-3000. We'll be back right after this on the home team on the Tan Talk Radio Network, AM 1340, AM 1350, FM 106.1, FM 102.3, and Facebook Live.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Now is a great time to shop your homeowners and auto insurance. Alliance Mutual Insurance can lower your cost on insurance during these challenging economic times. Alliance Mutual, an independent agency, is in the Tampa Bay area, locally owned with over 20 years' experience. They have access to dozens of independent carriers and can find the lowest price with the highest quality coverage. Citizens is not your only option. Call or text Jamie Brown, a home team listener and supporter, at 727-637-2341. That's Jamie Brown at 727-637-2341.
Honest Mahoney's. That's what people have been calling LZ Mahoney for more than 35 years. Honest LZ Mahoney. The name really says it all. Mahoney's Auto Repair is a place you can trust. In fact, it was some of his loyal customers that came up with the name. Generations of people who've been taking their cars to 4040 54th Avenue North for 3.5 decades. Do you need some work done on your car? If his loyal customers call him Honest Mahoney's, that should tell you something right there. The next time you need work done on your car, take it to my friend LZ Mahoney's. He's been a part of the home team for nearly 20 years. Mahoney's Auto Repair. Or just remember Honest Mahoney's, 4040 54th Avenue North in St. Petersburg, a place that people have called home for more than 35 years. Honest Mahoney's, 4040 54th Avenue North in St. Petersburg.
This is Paul Porter for Second Time Sports at 2104 Main Street, right next to Walmart, just west of Belcher Road. You can save big on new or gently used sports equipment from hockey to soccer to baseball. They're now selling and renting gently used bicycles. Don't pay retail at the chain sports stores. Check out the large selection at Second Time Sports at just a fraction of the cost. Second Time Sports, 2104 Main Street, next to Walmart, just west of Belcher Road. Call them at 727-784-0007 and tell them what you're looking for.
My new windows from FAS Windows and Doors are in. I couldn't be happier with the job they did, from measuring perfectly to prompt and exact installation. How did I choose FAS over all the other window companies? I've known Ernie and John Wilding for nearly 20 years. They're father and son and started FAS Windows and Doors way back in 2005. In fact, FAS actually stands for Father and Son. They are Central and West Central Florida's largest volume window and door dealer, with showrooms and distribution facilities in both Tampa and Orlando. As you know, I never endorse a product or service unless I've used them or thoroughly researched them. Their objective is providing the best quality windows and doors on the market at reasonable prices with a customer service level that is unsurpassed in the industry. Never an obligation when you call 866-737-7173 or visit them on the internet at faswd.com or call 866-737-7137. You'll be glad you did. I sure am. 10 years ago, my wife and I started a nonprofit ministry to help victims of domestic violence called Reach Out, Speak Out. Would you consider a donation to help our ministry? If you'd like to join our auxiliary board or just be a friend to Reach Out, Speak Out by helping with your time, talents, or treasures whenever you're available, please contact us by visiting reachoutspeakout.org. Please send your donation to Post Office Box 4979, Tampa, Florida 33677, 5013C number 47163. 0804. This is Paul Porter. You know, with the schedule I keep working for the Lightning, Magic, and Buccaneers, a good night's sleep is a must for me. That's why I'm happy to tell you about the Original Mattress Factory. Their mattresses are hand-built right here in Tampa Bay with the highest quality at a very reasonable price. They aren't like these other mattress companies that'll jack their prices up every holiday and then do a so-called super discount during their so-called sale. You actually end up paying more than what the mattress is worth. The secret is, with OMF, you're getting factory direct pricing and eliminating the middleman retailer. There's no high-pressure salespeople either. OMF is employee-owned, and they make it all about you. Double-sided mattresses, and they even email you when it's time to flip your mattress. Stop by their factory on Almerton Road in Clearwater and see for yourself, or visit one of their stores in Tampa or Brandon. There's nothing like a good night's sleep, and you'll get it with the Original Mattress Factory, and you'll get it for less. The Original Mattress Factory. The best entertainment deal for $1 in Tampa Bay is back with the return of Clearwater Threshers Dollar Tuesdays to Baycare Ballpark. Enjoy the fun and excitement of minor league baseball with $1 burn tickets, hot dogs, sodas, and more. Every homestand this summer starts with a Dollar Tuesday featuring admission and select concession items for just $1. Visit threshersbaseball.com. Then visit Baycare Ballpark in Clearwater for Dollar Tuesdays, presented by Top Notch Pest Control.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
And welcome back to the home team. This is Jason Alessi along with Big Ed. And of course, we've been talking about the Rays and no more Randy Land. Well, at least there was for one more. Well, there was for one more night, I guess. He was in the stands. He was in Randy Land, maybe.
I would keep showing up with my Randy Land shirt. Go to the thing. Where's my free drink?
Yeah. I guess
he had to hit a home run for you to get a drink.
Okay. So obviously that's not going to happen. Yeah, but along with him and Zach Eflin, gone to the Orioles, and again, prospects keep out. And
Zach Eflin wasn't doing that well. I mean, he was,
right.
but
when we're limited on starting pitchers as it is,
but they're looking forward to the ones that are coming back.
Right.
From injury.
But again, Jeffrey Springs and Drew Rasmussen, they're you know that they're going to be limited. They're going to be limited in the amount of time. And hopefully they're going to get back and quickly as possible.
I never could understand why, because Kevin Cash is probably the biggest pitcher coddler in the league with putting him out for an inning here, putting him out for an inning there, pulling him before 100 pitches or whatever. But he has somebody every year, one of the most the teams with the most pitchers on IR with either Tommy John or something serious.
Yeah. It's very frustrating, and again, we'll see what happens. Last night of the game against the Reds, it was tied at 2-2 for most of the game. They ended up losing in 10 innings, 3-2. The hope is they can bounce back and win these next two games. The Rays have been winning almost every series as of late. I think with the exception of the Rangers series, which they got swept, and the Yankees, which they split. It was a 4-game series there. But overall, they've been doing very well. Curious to see right after now with this trading of these two players, how the team is going to respond.
In the early half of the year, they dug a big hole.
The problem is the Rays are the lowest scoring team in the entire division.
Yeah, so that's not going to help matters either. And then you lose a bat and you lose a pitcher.
And they're a fourth place. Shockingly, they're a fourth place team. Why? Because the Jays, despite scoring more than Tampa has, Toronto's given up more runs than anybody else in the East.
Well, again, I think under the circumstances, the Rays have done remarkably well, which again is a testament to the scouting and the players they do find and bring in. I mean, the fact that your top three pitchers, McClanahan, Springs, and Rasmussen, have been out missing the majority of the year. McClanahan's not going to return at all this year, recovering from the Tommy John. Combine that with the fact that you're playing in one of the toughest divisions in baseball, the American League East. And throughout the American League, you have so many good teams. The AL Central, you got 3 potential playoff teams. In the AL West, you got 2 potential with the Astros and the Mariners. There's a lot of good teams that they're going up against. And despite the fact, all of that, the Rays are right at 500. They're still within striking distance of that final wild card spot. Now it's going to be curious to see how they respond after this trade.
So how they respond, it's for 2 things. How does the team respond? How do the fans respond?
Yeah,
I'm anxious to see what the games coming forward, what the gate looks like.
Yeah,
with Randy gone.
And of course, part of that could be if the team continues to win. If they start to really fall apart. We've seen them win in
the past, Jason. They're only hauling 12,000 people.
Well, the weekends do a little better. Got it's the weekends they have the better attendance. Yeah, weekdays.
I never understood weekdays during the week. I don't know if Stu knows this, but people work during the week.
Yeah,
during the day.
Mm-hmm.
So I never understood that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Well, it could be worse. It could be the Chicago White Sox. They're the only team in baseball that don't have 30 wins yet. They're 27 and 79 as of now.
Oh, but who swept the Rays?
That's true. Yeah, the White Sox did.
Yeah, that's true. I was curious why Well, I guess you have this in all cities that have two professional sports teams. One of the teams is more popular. The other one's like the ugly duckling, the ugly sister or whatever.
Who's running it? The Cubs have tradition.
But the Cubs had a losing tradition for a long time. I always wondered if with the White Sox, the 1919 scandal, the Black Sox, when a bunch of the players threw the World Series that year, I always wondered if that was a key factor in more people starting to root for the Cubs than the White Sox. I don't know if that was a factor or not, or just maybe the Cubs were the more appealing team for people in Chicago.
Maybe, and like I said, it's just tradition. You're handed down to a kid, and the kid's kid, and I mean, look at the Bears. The Bears stunk for years, still stink. You don't see empty seats at Soldier Field.
No. But then that's
they still go.
But a lot of the teams up north, that's the tradition. When you have dense populations, and like you say, the generations of people. When it's passed down through the generations, the family members, it's in their blood. The sports. It's not a thing to do. It's the thing to do. And you don't see that, not just in Tampa, but throughout the state of Florida. It's not the same. You could also kind of go to California. It's not. There's so many other things to do in like Florida or California that sports, while it's a thing and a lot of people like it, it's not necessarily the priority for some people.
And it's not only winning. I mean, look at like I said earlier. Look what the Bucks have done. Look what the Lightning have done. They've won championships too, but they've had players that connect with the fans, and they've been around for a long time. And then you have the Rays. And you can say, the Rays have been in the playoffs almost every year for the last 5 years, and nobody's coming to the games because you can't connect with the players because they're no longer there.
The Rays for years, it's been first because they were losing. Then it was because the stadium.
But baseball was
then it was
new.
the stadium. Yeah. Well,
so we got to draw off of that.
Here's what I look at, though. What's very curious, though. The Lightning, when they played in that same building for 3 seasons, they packed the place. And that was never intended for hockey. They had to rearrange it, but they set record crowds. And people, it wasn't such an inconvenience for people to go drive across the bridge to go to watch hockey. Yet baseball, and of course, and I remember even the very first season when we had been waiting for a team for so long. You go through so many years of the disappointments. First thinking you might get a team to move here. We miss out on the expansion team, which went to Miami with the Marlins, and people were excited. And even that first year, in the '98 season, after the first couple of games, attendance really started to drop off. And now at that point, it really wasn't supposed to matter whether the team was good or not. Of course, they weren't going to be good because they were expansion team. But the thinking is people in this area, in the Tampa Bay area, should be so excited to finally get baseball. But even then, something was off. And I think that there was a miscalculation. I think people felt just because people went to spring training throughout the state of Florida, they equivocated that to being able to support a team year round. And maybe that's just not the case because so many people for the spring training were out of state. They came in just for that time period. They didn't stay there that long.
Sure. I mean, you had the Philadelphia, the Blue Jays coming, people from Toronto coming down to see that. But once again, I think it just comes back to tradition and the fact that the people don't relate with these teams or these Rays teams anymore.
And the fact that I think just baseball overall, it's just not the same popular
sport. People are getting
sport.
turned off by the $50 million contracts every year.
Yeah, that and I mean,
come on.
And I think the game moving at a slower pace when you can compare it to football, hockey, basketball, fast-paced things. I just think that the younger generation doesn't go for it these days.
And the price of a game, and you're between parking and concessions.
Right.
It doesn't. A family of 4. Don't give me that. Well, we got $20 tickets. By the time you park and you get concession, you're looking at a couple $100.
Oh yeah,
and that's an electric bill for people.
It absolutely adds up. We're going to hit a break right now, but I'm going to give out the phone numbers again. Please call in 727-441-3000. That's 727-441-3000. We'll be back right after this on the home team on the TAN Talk Radio Network, AM 1340, AM 1350, FM 106.1 and 102.3, and Facebook
Live.
This is the TAN Talk Radio Network.
When you talk about ice rink development in West Central Florida, one name stands alone: Iceman Development, LLC. Gordy Zimmerman, president and founder of Iceman Development, has played an integral part in the construction of the Ice Sports Forum in Brandon, the training home of the 3-time Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning, and the Advent Health Center Ice Complex, a multi-million-dollar facility boasting 150,000 square feet, and ranked the top indoor ice rink facility by both the USA Today and Yelp. Iceman Development is currently involved in creating yet another outstanding ice rink facility in Trinity and Pasco County. Iceman's company mission is to build community projects that impact the area both in quality of life and economic growth. For more information, visit icemandevelopment.com. That's Iceman with 2 N's, development.com. Much like the weather, your life could change at the drop of a hat. Don't be caught unprepared. You don't know what will happen tomorrow, but no matter what happens to you, you can make sure your loved ones are provided for with a life insurance policy from Auto Owners Insurance. Meet with a local independent agent and secure a policy now to rest easy knowing you're protecting the ones you love. Visit Vermost Insurance in Tampa Bay today at vermost.com.
This is Paul Porter for Second Time Sports at 2104 Main Street, right next to Walmart, just west of Belcher Road. You can save big on new or gently used sports equipment from hockey to soccer to baseball. They're now selling and renting gently used bicycles. Don't pay retail at the chain sports stores. Check out the large selection at Second Time Sports at just a fraction of the cost. Second Time Sports, 2104 Main Street, next to Walmart, just west of Belcher Road. Call them at 727-784-0007 and tell them what you're looking for.
Now you can get that delicious Vienna all-beef hot dog in Pinellas County at Daddy Dogs on the southeast corner of McMullen Booth Road and State Route 580 in Safety Harbor. They feature 10 different types of hot dogs with over 25 different toppings. Hershey's ice cream, too. Now you don't have to drive to Tampa to get the best hot dog there is. Check out their menu at daddydogs.com. That's daddy, DAWGS.com. Family owned and operated. daddydogs.com.
Life Builders Christian Counseling Center brings hurting people to wholeness in Christ. Life Builders is a professional counseling center with multiple counselors and locations in Brandon and Tampa. They offer in-person, Zoom, and group sessions, counseling individuals, married couples, children and adolescents, and families. Some of our licensed counselors take most insurances. Call 813-438-5949 or visit lifebuilderscounseling.org. Life Builders can help. 813-438-5949 and at lifebuilderscounseling.org.
This is Paul Porter. You know, with the schedule I keep working for the Lightning, Magic, and Buccaneers, a good night's sleep is a must for me. That's why I'm happy to tell you about the Original Mattress Factory. Their mattresses are hand-built right here in Tampa Bay with the highest quality at a very reasonable price. They aren't like these other mattress companies that'll jack their prices up every holiday and then do a so-called super discount during their so-called sale. You actually end up paying more than what the mattress is worth. The secret is with OMF, you're getting factory direct pricing and eliminating the middleman retailer. There's no high-pressure salespeople either. OMF is employee-owned, and they make it all about you. Double-sided mattresses, and they even email you when it's time to flip your mattress. Stop by their factory on Almerton Road in Clearwater and see for yourself, or visit one of their stores in Tampa or Brandon. There's nothing like a good night's sleep, and you'll get it with the Original Mattress Factory, and you'll get it for less. The Original Mattress Factory. Happy 60th birthday, Cambridge Christian School. Hi, everyone. I'm Paul Porter, voice of the Lightning, here to tell you about the exciting growth happening here at CCS. Coming this fall is our state-of-the-art 45,000 square foot high school and STEM lab. For over 60 years, Cambridge Christian's award-winning academics, athletics, and the arts has been changing the way you think about Christian education. Visit us today at ccslancers.com.
In 1955, the law firm now known as Pernick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes made a decision. Instead of taking whatever cases came through their doors, they decided to focus specifically on personal injury. 64 years later, the law firm is one of Clearwater's longest-running personal injury firms. Available 24 hours a day with offices in Clearwater and throughout Tampa Bay, they're ready to put decades of experience to work for you if you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or injured due to someone's negligence or recklessness. If you feel overwhelmed, uncertain, or unsure about your next steps after being involved in an accident or after a loved one sustained serious injuries due to someone else's negligence, call Pernick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes at 727-796-8282 or online at usalaw.com. That's 727-796-8282 or online at usalaw.com. Non-attorney spokesman.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
And welcome back to the home team. This is Jason Alessi along with Big Ed here. And going to get to the phone lines in just a moment. But I want to bring you up to date on Alessi Bakery, tell you what's going on there. We've got some great specials this week. Buy one, get one free. Guava and cheese turnovers, snickerdoodle cookies, and our strawberry masu cake slices. Buy one, get one free. Also have our scacciata pizza. A snack pack is a little lower price, a couple dollars off. So we've always got a lot of great items like eclairs and Napoleons, slices of carrot cake, the German chocolate cake, one of my favorites, brownies, cookies. We've got a wonderful deli offering a variety of sandwiches, Cuban sandwiches, Italian subs, Philly cheesesteaks, Reubens, burgers, hot entrees, chicken and yellow rice, roast pork and picadillo. And of course, our famous scacciata pizza, our cold meat pizza. So come on by to Alessi Bakery. We're open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Sundays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., located at 2909 West Cypress Street, in between MacDill and Armenia. We're going to get back to the phone lines right here. We've got with us Don from St. Pete on the line. Don, welcome to the home team.
Oh, good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Well, I'm glad the Rays gave us something to talk about today.
Oh, did they ever? Yeah, I was thinking of good topics to come up with, and I already had written a bunch down, but I guess it went from the trade speculation to trade facts. So,
well, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. I mean, they won 99 games last year, and like the Marlins. If the Marlins have a great year, they start moving players out, and then they start to bring new players in. And whether you liked Randy Arozarena, whether you liked Eflin, and we don't know what's going to happen with the next two guys, Diaz and Paredes.
Yeah.
You could make a point and say, look, they've rebuilt and they've come back, and they keep doing it. And whether you like the idea that they don't hold, if you don't like the idea that they don't hold on to their players, well, it's not baseball anymore. This is free agency. And free agency is going to affect this team one way or the other, whether you trade them 2 years ahead of time or whether you hold on to them and hope you're going to get to the World Series.
Yeah, but listen, the fans aren't expecting that. The fans have to accept that the Rays are at the bottom part of the board, the bottom five in the league as far as payroll goes, and those are the players that get moved a lot. And when a player starts to get good on the field and doing things, they move them and they trade them for prospects. Exactly what happened yesterday with Randy. They trade him. They get a couple of prospects. We don't know anything about the prospects. Hopefully they work out. But the thing is that who do you go to the ballpark to see? That's the thing. When you went to a Bucks game or something like that, you go to see a specific player play. When you go to a hockey game, you go to see players play, and you relate with the players. But now they're constantly moved.
But I like to go to a baseball game to see both teams play. And whether you like that idea, I'm sorry, but this has got to be a baseball town, and you got to like to see a game, not fall in love with two or three players.
Well, and I think it will be easier. It's easier to learn the new players and to root for the new players when the team is winning. And to the Rays' credit, for the majority of the time in recent years, this team has been winning. They've made the playoffs 5 straight years. Again, going back to their first playoff year and World Series year of 2008, they've been one of the best teams in Major League Baseball in terms of winning consistently and making the playoffs. They'll find players to replace those that have departed, who no one may have heard of, but they start to produce, and they get a lot of production. I guess, though, the question is, can they eventually win a championship that way? They've been to 2 World Series. They lost them both. I think certainly people want the team to do well, which they have, but people also want to think, hey, this might be the year we win a championship. And I guess, other teams, some other teams may not have been consistently good year in and year out as the Rays, but they obviously made a commitment at one point or another to get the players they needed and keep those players long enough to win a title. I just wonder if people down here realize that with Sternberg, that's never going to be the case. It's almost like if the Rays win the World Series, it's going to have to happen by luck, that just 1 year everything clicked, and then maybe it didn't click for the other team that they're playing against. I just don't know that people have any confidence that we can actually win a World Series doing things this way.
Well, I honestly think not. I don't think owners really think that way at all. I think the owners think, well, if we can keep the payroll at a certain level, and even if we don't draw a lot of people, we're still making money.
I mean, George Steinbrenner didn't think that way, and I think there's a lot of others.
The Mets and Yankees are both over $300 million.
But as far as they're concerned, they have all those seats sold. They've got all television money coming in. Be honest with you, if they don't go to the World Series this year, the fans will be upset. But I doubt if they're going to be that upset.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think especially when you look at the other sports teams and the other Tampa Bay teams, when you've got owners like Jeff Vinnick and the Glazers who have really committed themselves to putting winning products out there and to spending the money to get the players there. And then you look at Sternberg, who now, again, he could make the argument. He'll try to make the argument. Well, hey, we put a winning product on the team. We've been in the playoffs all these years and have won. But it's doing it in such an unorthodox way when you keep players for a very brief period of time and get rid of them and bring other players in that I guess it doesn't translate necessarily to the fans. And while even if you're winning, it almost seems like a loss when you it seems like you're starting over basically all the time.
Well, without a salary cap in baseball, it's almost impossible to compare those two sports with Major League Baseball.
Yeah. But then that also shows you in baseball, when you could pay guys unlimited amount of contracts and not worry about the salary cap, I guess in some ways people will look at, well, that's even worse to have an owner who acts this way, even when you don't have to worry about the salary cap, you still are nickel and diming everyone.
Yes, if there were a salary cap in baseball, Stu Sternberg would be at the bottom of the bottom's bottom. And what's the bare minimum? Because even the NFL, remember the NFL has a bare minimum that you have to get above that.
The salary floor.
Yeah,
the salary floor.
Right.
Yeah.
Stu'd be in the basement.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the teams that overspend pay a luxury tax, and that money partially goes to the Rays.
Yeah.
So that's how
he gets the money there.
Listen, Stu's not in the line for day old bread. Believe me.
Yeah. No, he knows what he's doing. Again, Don, let me ask you: do you think when the Rays eventually move into the new stadium that that this is going to change? He's going to start keeping players or paying them more and keeping them for longer periods of time, or is this something that's always going to be the case with Stu Sternberg as owner?
Well, let me say this: I listened to a podcast by David Sampson, who was running the Marlins back in the. And he bought the team right after they bought it from Henry. Mm-hmm. And he said that whenever they won a championship, they worried about what next year was going to be and that which players can we hold and which players can we get rid of. And this is what happens now with teams like the Rays. They have to make immediate decisions about whether or not they have to do this. I think with the new stadium, the revenue stream is going to be a lot higher, but I don't think it's going to affect whether or not they're going to keep players or not. I think that same thing is going to work. Now, if he sells the team, then we have something to talk about. But I don't think he's selling the team for a little bit, and I think it's going to continue as we go on. We just don't know who the next player coming up will be and whether they're going to keep him for whatever 3 or 4 years.
Well, and that's the case where we want to keep the same. The tennis situation could be the same.
But isn't Stu's reasoning for a new stadium so he can compete with the bigger market teams? I do remember him saying that.
Yeah.
Well, I think
he lied.
I think what Stu wants is what everybody else is getting, and I think he thought he was going to get it a lot sooner. And I think what he wants right now is to show Major League Baseball he's got the power, and he can tell people, I'm leaving if you don't build it.
We'll see what happens. Essentially, Don, we're up against a break here, but great points. So good to talk to you.
Good talking to you guys.
This week. Thank you so much, Don. We're going to hit the break here, a final break here. But, hey, if you want to call in, give us a call, 727-441-3000. We'll be back right after this on the home team on the Tan Talk Radio Network, AM 1340 and 1350, FM 106.1, 102.3, and Facebook Live.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Honest Mahoney's. That's what people have been calling LZ Mahoney for more than 35 years. Honest LZ Mahoney. The name really says it all. Mahoney's Auto Repair is a place you can trust. In fact, it was some of his loyal customers that came up with the name. Generations of people who've been taking their cars to 4040 54th Avenue North for 3.5 decades. Do you need some work done on your car? If his loyal customers call him Honest Mahoney's, that should tell you something right there. The next time you need work done on your car, take it to my friend LZ Mahoney's. He's been a part of the home team for nearly 20 years. Mahoney's Auto Repair. Or just remember Honest Mahoney's. 4040 54th Avenue North in St. Petersburg, a place that people have called home for more than 35 years. Honest Mahoney's, 4040 54th Avenue North in St. Petersburg.
Now you can get that delicious Vienna all-beef hot dog in Pinellas County at Daddy Dogs on the southeast corner of McMullen Booth Road and State Route 580 in Safety Harbor. They feature 10 different types of hot dogs with over 25 different toppings. Hershey's ice cream, too. Now you don't have to drive to Tampa to get the best hot dog there is. Check out their menu at daddydogs.com. That's daddy, DAWGS.com. Family owned and operated. daddydogs.com. One of the questions I'm often asked is, how do you do it? With my busy schedule of working for the Lightning, Magic, Buccaneers, and the home team, I need to be in very good health. One person I have to thank for keeping me in good health for years is Dr. Troy Stirk of Stirk Family Medicine. He's helped me keep my blood pressure in check, my heart running smoothly, and an overall healthy feeling that is confirmed by my lab results. If you're looking for a good family physician, I heartily recommend Dr. Troy Stirk at Stirk Family Medicine. You can reach his office at 813-264-7922. That's 813-264-7922. I'll tell you, Dr. Stirk is fantastic, and I'm sure you'll feel the same way if you become one of his patients. So now that you know my secret to staying healthy with a busy schedule, it's your turn. Call Dr. Troy Stirk at Stirk Family Medicine, 813-264-7922. My new windows from FAS Windows and Doors are in. I couldn't be happier with the job they did, from measuring perfectly to prompt and exact installation. How did I choose FAS over all the other window companies? I've known Ernie and John Wilding for nearly 20 years. They're father and son and started FAS Windows and Doors way back in 2005. In fact, FAS actually stands for Father and Son. They are Central and West Central Florida's largest volume window and door dealer, with showrooms and distribution facilities in both Tampa and Orlando. As you know, I never endorse a product or service unless I've used them or thoroughly researched them. Their objective is providing the best quality windows and doors on the market at reasonable prices with a customer service level that is unsurpassed in the industry. Never an obligation when you call 866-737-7173 or visit them on the internet at faswd.com or call 866-737-7137. You'll be glad you did. I sure am. 10 years ago, my wife and I started a nonprofit ministry to help victims of domestic violence called Reach Out, Speak Out. Would you consider a donation to help our ministry? If you'd like to join our auxiliary board or just be a friend to Reach Out, Speak Out by helping with your time, talents, or treasures whenever you're available, please contact us by visiting reachoutspeakout.org. Please send your donation to Post Office Box 4979, Tampa, Florida 33677, 5013C number 47163. 0804. Happy 60th birthday, Cambridge Christian School. Hi, everyone. I'm Paul Porter, voice of the Lightning, here to tell you about the exciting growth happening here at CCS. Coming this fall is our state-of-the-art 45,000 square foot high school and STEM lab. For over 60 years, Cambridge Christian's award-winning academics, athletics, and the arts has been changing the way you think about Christian education. Visit us today at ccslancers.com.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
And welcome back to the home teams. Jason Alessi along with the Big Ed here. And, of course, we've been talking about the Rays, been talking about the Bucks. Let's talk briefly, Ed, about college football, because that's going to be coming up. It's going to look a little different this year. First of all, the playoffs are expanding from 4 teams to 12 teams.
More money.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, well, more money, everything. And then the bigger story might be the super conferences, the Big Ten. Never mind the name; it's 18 teams. The Big 12. Never mind the 12 in the name; it's 16 teams. The SEC, 16 teams. The ACC, 17 teams, and the Pac-12 is the Pac-2. Oregon State and Washington State were the last team standing. They did. What was the chair game you play? You run around at
musical chairs.
Chairs. They're left without getting into a conference. Those two teams. So they're the last two remaining in the Pac-12.
Two that didn't go to the prom.
The Pac-12 actually had a media day. Do you know that recently?
Both of them?
They had a media day.
A couple of chairs.
Interesting. But a lot of changes. And I know, I've typically been a traditionalist when it comes to college football. I think it really, in my opinion, is my favorite sport. I think it's the most exciting sport. Being at a big-time college football game, some of the Florida State games. I went to a Florida State-Miami game. Even going back to 2007, that Friday night game with USF and West Virginia, when West Virginia was ranked in the top 10. USF, that was the year USF got all the way up to number 2 in the ranking. That was a game. It's a game where pretty much the fans stand every single play of the game. No one sits down.
I learned that from going to a University of Michigan game. And they stood during the game, during the timeouts. They sat.
Yeah. But it's something. So I'm a traditionalist, and I'm not a big fan of all this shuffling of schools going to different conferences. Now creating conferences where it's almost like two conferences in one. To me, a good amount of teams would be, 9 to 10 maybe, but it's going to create new rivalries, and I'm sure that's going to be exciting, and it might work out. The one thing with college football, I think the biggest thing that irks me, two things. One, I don't like the transfer portal rule where there's no regulations at all. It used to be if a player wanted to transfer, they had to sit out a year. Now you can transfer at will, play for any team you want. Essentially, you could have a player play 4 years of college football for 4 different schools. And to me, that's not the way this rule it's supposed to work or should work. I just think that's not a good thing. And the other thing is players opting out of bowl games. And obviously with the expansion of the playoff, you're going to have more meaningful games where players won't do that. But there's still so many bowls. There's too many bowl games. But there are a lot of bowls that are not part of the playoff, part of the national title. Players have the mindset, you know what? It doesn't matter. I don't want to get hurt. I'm not going to play. And to me, that just irks the heck out of me because to me it's a team sport, and your decision when you choose not to play affects everyone else.
But what if you're told you can't play? What if you're a senior quarterback and they've already committed to the junior and said, listen, he's going to play, and you have no chance of playing whatsoever? Now, obviously, you're not there for an education, okay? So you're there to play football, and that's it.
Well,
but what if you're a senior quarterback and they've already said going into the year or next year we're going to commit to this guy?
I think if you're playing in a bowl game and you're the senior quarterback and you tell the coach, hey, I'd like to play. I mean, and if you're a good player, I mean, if you stink, that's one thing, and you want to try someone else. But if you're a good player and you want to play, I find it hard to believe that the coach would say don't play.
Nobody thinks they stink or they wouldn't be out there.
Yeah,
they think they're the greatest thing ever.
I just think, listen, things change, times change. It used to be there was an honor to play in a bowl game. The bowl game was a big deal, and now it's become the point where it's a burden. And I do put some of the blame on the NFL teams where the teams could have said, listen, if you have a player who chooses to not play in the bowl game, they could look at that as being very selfish and self-centered, and the NFL teams could say, we're going to take you off of our draft. We're not even going to draft you because you are more about yourself than the team. But they've normalized it. This is the trend. And when players see other players doing this, say, well, you know what? That player sat out the bowl game because they want to avoid injury. I guess that's the thing to do, and I'm going to do it. And I think it's trending in the wrong way, in my opinion.
Until the universities can start coming up with some sort of an insurance policy for those players that might be drafted number 1 overall, sitting out and afraid of getting hurt. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. The way I think
I don't know. That's a decision you got to make.
You're afraid of getting hurt. You know what? Don't play football.
Well,
I mean, I guess that's the whole thing. That's part of the risk of the game.
How many NFL players don't play in the Pro Bowl anymore?
That's why they did away with the Pro Bowl.
It was an honor to be selected in the Pro Bowl.
And that's. But here's the other thing about that. I say if the players are not going to treat the bowl game seriously and want to not play in them, you know what? Don't have them. To have only now that it's 12 teams, have only the 12-team playoff and the bowl games that are going to be a part of that playoff. Do away with all the other bowls.
How's the NFL going to charge you $100 a ticket?
Of course, it's all about the money. Yep, that's the same thing. Well, anyway, it's been a great Big Ed, thank you so much for being here. This was a lot of fun. Paul's going to be back next week on the home team. Matt, thank you again. Great show. So we'll see. And we'll see if the Rays add anyone else to the trading block, too. Isak Paredes, look out. Maybe he's next. I don't know. Hopefully not. But we'll see before the trade deadline on Tuesday. Trade Stu. Trade Stu Sternberg. There you go. Anyway, we'll be back next week, same time, right here on the home team on the Tan Talk Radio Network, AM 1340, AM 1350, FM 106.1, FM 102.3, and as always, Facebook
Live.